Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're getting ready to start our farm tour, trying to get as many people watching as we can. So if you have friends, it's not too late. They can join us. They can also go to our website, milkmeansmore.org, find the link to our virtual farm page and watch it there. My name is Amy Vondrasek. I work for United Dairy Industry of Michigan. And we work on behalf of Michigan's dairy farmers, bringing you opportunities like this farm tour today, along with many resources, recipes, lots of great information. And we like to promote the delicious, nutritious product, the milk that they create or they produce every day with their cows. Feel free to make comments throughout the tour. You can ask questions, you can post pictures. We'll try to get to as many questions as we can. We have had teachers send in questions and we'll try to get to those as well. So please feel free to make comments. We also have a scavenger hunt. There's a link to that on our website, so you can go with that. Today we are at Valley Grove Dairy on the west side of Michigan with Jolene Griffin. Jolene also works at United Dairy Industry of Michigan and helps at her family farm whenever possible. Today, she is going to take us on a tour. Hi, Jolene.
Good morning, Amy, and everybody joining us. I am live from the farm. We're so excited to have you join us. I'm going to take you on a couple different places and show you some of my friends, some of my favorite animals. I've got one right behind me. But my family, we own and operate Valley Grove Dairy Farm, as Amy mentioned. First and foremost, we would like to just take a minute and say we know that it's a really tough situation right now with schools out and a lot of other changes that have taken place in our state and across our world. And so we feel for the people who are impacted. And we just want to spend a couple minutes today showing you what we do, hopefully giving you a chance to learn and a chance to just kind of escape with us and join us. So I am in the calf barn. I'm going to flip it around so that you can see some of these calves while I talk about them. Here on our farm, we milk about 250 cows. We have Holsteins. Most of them are the black and white Holsteins like you're seeing here. We do have a couple of red and white Holsteins that we might be able to see when we go down to the milk cow barn. But I am here in the calf barn. This is my favorite place. This is where our calves start. This is where they live. We, when a calf is born, we right away give it some vaccinations. We give it the colostrum, which is the first milk from its mother, because it's got lots of antibodies in it for that calf to start growing. Calves are born with a no immune system, so we want to get them off on the best foot possible. And then after we get that calf dried off, we right now are giving them a coat like you can see here. Let's see if I can kind of get a little closer. That one's giving her friends some kisses. Oops. We give them a coat because it is still chilly out at the farm here. We want to make sure that that calf is warm and keeps her body heat close to her. So we give her a coat and she'll keep that on for a couple weeks. But the first few weeks of a calf's life, we actually put them in individual pens. My mom is in there every day, a couple times throughout the day, to give them milk and grain and water, to make sure that they keep that coat on, to make sure that they're healthy. I like to tell people my mom's the best calf feeder in the world. These are her pride and joy. She loves calves, loves taking care of them. After about 10 days to 2 weeks, they come in this barn. And as you can see, they are in a group. So kind of like when we go to school and we join other students our age, these calves are all about the same age. And they will stay in this pen. As you can see, lots of them are laying down. We've got a couple that are up. There's still one who's right here, right here at my side. You can kind of see part of her. But in this pen, they are laying on straw. That's some fresh straw that we put down this morning to help. That's their bedding. I'm gonna kind of move over here. This blue thing, I know that's probably a question that a lot of people are like, what is that hanging from the ceiling? That's a ball. We know that these girls have lots of energy. They want to run and we want them to run because that means that they're healthy calves. So we put that ball in there so that they can kind of play with it and move it back and forth and kind of swing it back and forth. And then I'm going to kind of go up here and just show you this calf right here. So if you can see that yellow ear tag in her ear, that is her number. That's her identification number. That's another thing that we give them first thing at birth. We want to make sure that we keep track of every single thing about that calf throughout her entire life. Someone else wanted to be in the picture right here, so we'll look at them too. So we track and we keep track of when they're born, when they get their vaccinations, when they move to different pens, when they join the milking herd. We keep track of everything by that number. So 1994, we'll keep track of every single thing about that calf. Kind of like we have social security numbers and we keep track of ourselves. We want to keep track of our calves as well. Not sure if we can see over here too with that little white dot in the other ear. That's another identification tag. That's a radio frequency identification tag. And that each calf gets their own RFID tag as well. And we use that with some technology that I'm going to show you here in a minute. We'll kind of walk over.
Jolene, while you're walking
Yes.
over there, we have a question. Ms. Philhart's first grade class, they're
Yes.
curious to know about how many calves are born on your farm each year.
That's a great question. So we have about 250 calves born every single year. So each cow will give birth to one calf every single year. Sometimes two. We did have twins born last night, but most of the time they'll just give birth to one single calf. And I'm gonna show you this. This is our I think she's almost done. She's actually backing out. But this little pen right here is where the calves go to get the milk. So that little tag that I showed you that has the RFID tag, that will pop up, and a computer will read that calf's tag when she walks into that pen. And so it will know, the computer will know how much milk she can drink and should be drinking at that time. What's really cool about it is that if a calf gets hungry in the middle of the night, she can go into the little pen here, and she might be able to eat. She might be able to get a midnight snack. I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
We have a couple more questions about the tags.
Perfect. Yes.
Well, one is, does it hurt when they get tagged? And then also the different colors. Why are some blue and some yellow?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we give the calves a tag, it's the day that they're born, and it's just like us getting our ears pierced. I know I remember when I got my ears pierced, I think I was about 8 years old, and it was just a little pinch, and then I didn't feel anything again. And same thing with that calf. It's, you know, they're not going to feel it. They don't even know it's there anymore. And then the different colors. So on our farm, we use the yellow ear tags to represent the heifers. So you can see that one right there, which is a girl. The heifers are girls. So they are the future of our herd. They're the ones who are going to grow up and to milk and to give us milk in a couple years. The blue tags right there, those are the bulls or the boys. And so we have different numbering systems for the heifers and different ones for the bulls. But either way, we want to make sure that we're keeping record of everything about that calf. So I'm going to walk over here just to give you a little bit of a glimpse, a little bit of a better glimpse of that coat. If you'll see, that kind of covers all of her body, keeps that body heat on. So another thing that we do to keep the calves warm, especially during the winter and chilly spring days like this, is we have curtains on our barn. You can kind of see that we've got a curtain on the bottom and then a curtain on the top with a little bit of airflow coming in the middle. And we keep those down when it's windy. We keep them down when it's the winter, when there's rain coming in. As soon as it gets nice, we will put those curtains up. It's it's like a motor operated system that helps us put those curtains up. In fact, we actually had them up over the weekend because it was so nice on Saturday and Sunday. But then Sunday night we had to put them down because it really started to get cold again. And then another thing, I'm gonna just kind of pan up into the ceiling. This is a ventilation tube. So we want to make sure that our calves have fresh air blowing through them. So that ventilation tube will help to move that air throughout the barn, because we want to make sure that they have healthy air that they can breathe in.
We have a lot of people that want to see the twins, and I know that's not, they're in a different area, but I thought maybe you could just tell them about why they can't see them.
Yeah. So those calves are in a different area. When they're the first 2 weeks of a calf's life, we have them in a different barn so that they are in individual pens. Today we thought we would just start here in this calf barn because these calves are excited. They're running around. Those twins from last night, because they're so new, they're still a little sleepy. So they probably don't want visitors, just like newborn babies.
Oh, can you show us some of the technology of how you feed the calves?
Absolutely. And while I do that, I'm just going to pan around here. I wanted to show you, I had these setting out. You can see that bottle right there. That's what a calf drinks out of for the first couple weeks of its life. My mom will give them a bottle twice a day. And then they also have access to grain. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's got corn and it's got pellets. They have free choice of that. So again, they need a little something extra, they can go in there and take a snack. But I'm going to walk into what we call the calf barn milk house.
Okay. Yeah, we just have a couple more minutes and then we can show some of the other parts too.
Perfect. So we are here in the calf barn milk house, and we pasteurize the milk that we give to the calf. So this right here is the pasteurizer. This contraption right here. So it will heat that milk up to 150 degrees for about 35 minutes. And then once that's done, we will put it here in this milk jug. I'm going to show you. There's the milk. There's the milk for those calves. And so, as I was mentioning earlier, when a calf goes into that pen, or into that little stall area, that milk is going to be taken from this area and it's going to be taken over to that bottle so that she can drink out of it. And then this little machine right here helps us to keep track of every single calf. So if a calf hasn't eaten for a little bit, my mom will get an alert, and it will tell her what number calf it was. And it will say, she hasn't eaten in a couple hours. So my mom will go out and check on her, make sure she's okay, make sure she's feeling well. Lots of times that calf just got busy playing with its friends, or maybe it fell into a deep sleep. So we'll go and check on it. But we really do utilize technology, just like we're doing today during this farm tour. Technology helps us. Our number one priority here is to care for our cows and our calves. And technology helps us to do that, just like it helps a lot of people do their jobs better as well.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great way to take care of the calves. I'm sure that's helped your mom tremendously.
Yes.
Okay, now, I know the cows, you haven't really mentioned what time the cows are milked. What time are the cows milked on your farm?
Yes, so the cows are milked at 4 a.m., 12 p.m., and 8 p.m. We do intervals of 8 hours. So our cows are milked 3 times a day. And I think we're going to play a video showing that process while I walk down to the milk house and get ready for the next part of that.
Yeah, that would be great. Let's watch that video that you captured earlier, since we weren't there at 4 this morning.
Here in the milking parlor, we're going to show how we milk one of the cows. First, we wipe off the sand. We want to make sure that her udder is clean. And then we put on a sanitizing mix. Again, to make sure that we're cleaning off that entire udder. We're sanitizing the teats. That's where the milk is going to come out of. We're going to wait for a minute and let that sit on the udder. Let it make sure everything gets nice and sanitized, nice and clean. And then we use an individual towel for each cow. So we're going to clean off that sanitizer. This towel gets used for one cow. And then they are cleaned in between each milking shift. So once that's done, now it's time to attach the milking unit. And that's a little bit of vacuum, a little bit of a suction, so that it can go on each individual teeth. Cows have 4 teeth. And then you can see that milk coming out right there. And then I'm going to move over here. You can see the milk coming out of there. And it's going through the pipe. You're going to follow that pipe into that stainless steel pipe right there, and then that's going to go into the milk tank where it's going to be cooled, and we'll talk more about that. Each cow is milked for 5 to 7 minutes, and once that milker comes off, it'll come off automatically when the milk flow stops. Then we're going to put more sanitizer on each of the teeth, each of the quarters, and then that cow's going to go back out and drink and eat and rest.
That was a great video. Thanks for capturing that. We did, before you show us where the milk goes next, we had a question from a kindergarten class in Peck Elementary, and they just want to know, does milking hurt the cows?
That's a really good question, and milking does not. The cows, they want to be milked. They meet us at the gate when we go to their pens to bring them into the milking parlor. Cows are creatures of habit, so they know if we're just even a few minutes late coming to get them. But they do want to be milked. Yes, they do like to be milked.
Oh, that's great. So, all right, are you going to show us where the milk goes next?
Yes. So as I mentioned, the stainless steel pipe brings that milk into the milk house. So you can see up there, and then it goes through a plate cooler. So when a milk leaves the cow, it's 101 degrees. That is her body temperature. Just like ours is 98 degrees, a cow is a little bit warmer than us. So we need to cool that milk down before it can leave our farm. It has to be cooled under 42 degrees in order for the milkman to be able to come and pick it up. So the plate cooler, the milk will go through that, again, in a stainless steel pipe, and running right alongside of it will be cold well water in another stainless steel pipe. The milk and the water never touch, but as they're kind of running alongside each other in those pipes, that water will be taking the heat from the milk, and it will be cooling it down. And then the milk will flow again in a stainless steel pipe. It will flow into our milk tank, which is right here. And right now, actually, our milkman is here. He's actually standing behind us. He is a big member of our team. He comes every single day to collect that milk from us. And what he does is he comes in and he hooks up his, right there, we got a good shot of that. He hooks up his hose, and he will pump that milk onto his truck so that he can take it to the processing plant. So we are actually going to walk by his truck because it's a pretty big truck to take all of that milk from our farm as well as some of our neighbors. So I'm just going to walk outside. There's where the milk goes in.
Wow. That's really neat to see that it's going to go right away from the farm today. That's great.
Yes. Yes. Oops. So the milkman will pump it onto his truck, and there is milk from our farm and a few of our neighbors as well. And he will take that down to Battle Creek. Our milk goes to a processing plant in Battle Creek where it will be pasteurized, and it will be put into containers, gallon jugs and half-gallon jugs of white and chocolate milk. And our cooperative also does a few other flavors like salted caramel and chocolate peanut butter. But yes, he comes every single day to collect that milk. The milk that leaves our farm today, it will go to the plant, it will be pasteurized, put into those jugs, and then it will be on the store shelf or at a school when we go back to school within 48 hours. It's a really quick process because milk is such a fresh product. We want to make sure that we get it to you as soon as we can.
We've had a few people ask us, why is it not safe to drink the milk right away? Why does it have to go through the processes?
Yeah, so pasteurization has been in process for over 100 years. And what that does is that heats up the milk for a really brief amount of time, and it just helps us to ensure that that milk stays fresh and safe. And then when you get the milk, when you buy it from the store, if you make sure that it stays cold, keep it in a cooler in your car, and then put it in your refrigerator right away when you get home, that will ensure that the milk stays fresh for a long time too.
And of course, there's other products that we make from the milk. We've got cheese and, of course, my favorite, ice cream. What's your favorite dairy product, Jolene?
So my favorite dairy food is milk. I just love a glass of milk. I love white milk, I love chocolate milk, I love flavored milk, but at the end of the day, I just love milk. I mean, I love ice cream too, and yogurt and cream cheese and
Right. And of course, we want everyone to get their 3 servings of dairy a day.
yes.
And then children 9 and under, just 2.5. But is that just your milk in that truck, or is that?
That is milk from our cows and 2 of our neighbors as well.
Okay. Oh, where are we now?
So we came into the barn. The wind was getting a little bit chilly standing out there. The sun did come out, but the wind was a little bit chilly. So we are in the cow barn. This is our freestall barn. So these are the cows. These are the adult cows. They're enjoying some breakfast, maybe a brunch, early lunch. But this is where the adult cows live. The freestall barn is we have different pens in the freestyle barn where the cows can be grouped together, and when they're in the pens, they have the option to eat whenever they want. We always have this fresh feed for them, and I'll give a close-up here in a couple minutes, but they can also walk around when they want, they can socialize when they want, they can get a drink of water when they want, so they can really create their own schedules when they're here in these pens. So I'm just gonna show you. These are actually the cows that are getting ready to have a baby. So this is our maternity pen. We've got some animals in here that are gonna have a calf for the very first time. And then like this girl, she's had a couple of calves for us.
Oh, that's cute. So they can just eat whenever they want? The food's always there?
They can, yes. And I am just gonna pop in here and show you. This is what we call a total mixed ration. Can you see that, Amy? Is that up nice and close?
Yeah, we can see that, yep.
Perfect, perfect. So the total mixed ration is like a casserole, is what I like to tell people. So we mix everything that cow needs into this. So you can see we've got some pieces of hay right there. That's a piece of hay. That's alfalfa. We grow that alfalfa on our farm, and then we harvest it 4 or 5 times a year. And we feed that to our cows in this mixed ration. We've also got corn. I'm kind of looking for a piece, corn kernel, but there are pieces of the entire corn stalk and corn cob in this ration. Cows are really great creatures. They can eat food that we can't. So when we eat corn, we only eat the kernels, but we, for cows, can chop up that whole stalk, all of the leaves, all of the kernels, all of the cob, and we feed that to them. They can then digest that and make it into milk for us. A couple other things that we put in here are vitamins and minerals. So just like many of us take a multivitamin each and every day, we need to make sure our cows get those vitamins and minerals as well. So this, I think there was a piece of corn right there that I missed. Right there, there's a corn. There's a corn kernel. Yeah. I like to point those out because I know that's stuff that we eat that people like to see. But we work with a nutritionist who helps us to create that diet for our cows, that ration for our cows. They will come a couple times a month to take samples of that feed to make sure that the cow is getting all of the vitamins, all of the minerals that they need each and every time that they eat. We create a balanced balanced ration for our cows. They eat better than most humans. I mean, I wish someone would create, a meal plan for me, but for our cows, we create the meal plan, we mix it up, we bring it to them so that it's fresh for them every single day. These adult cows will eat about 100 pounds of food a day. So so they are eating, they're making that milk, and we want them to have everything that they need here. So I'm just gonna kind of zoom out because I do want to show you while we're right here. Can you see those, Amy? Those are fans that we have in our barn.
Yeah, we can see them.
Perfect. Again, we just want to keep our cows as comfortable as possible. Taking care of them is the reason we get up every single day. It's what my parents and my brother were born to do, to take care of our cows. And so we turn these fans on when the temperature gets about 68 degrees, because we know that cows like cooler temperature. So we want to make sure that they've got that nice airflow over them. And then same thing in this barn as in the calf barn. We have curtains over there. The sun is actually starting to shine in them, so it looks a little bright, but those curtains, we will roll those up when the weather starts to get nice as well. But they help us to protect the cows during the wind, during the snowstorms that we have as well.
You were talking about your family too, and I did have Miss Smolinski's first grade class. Just want to know, how early do you have to get up?
That is a great question. So while I'm answering that, I'm just going to walk and get into the pen so I can show you something else. We actually have a couple different shifts here on our farm. There is always somebody here, always somebody looking after the cows. But my brother gets up really early. He gets up at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning to start mixing feed for the cows so that they have that fresh feed available. My parents, both my mom and my dad, get up a couple hours later. My mom comes and feeds the calves for the first time in the morning. And then my dad will start taking care of the cows and looking after them to see if anybody needs anything for the day. And then we've got a team of employees. We've got some really great employees who help us care for our cows, and they're here to help us milk as well. So it's a busy, full day here on the farm.
Yes, it sounds like it. Now it kind of looks like you're at the beach there.
Yes, I am right in the pen with the maternity cows, and we are showing you some sand. This is what the cows lay on. So I don't know if you can see her. She's just kind of chilling out, kind of hanging out. We use sand because we know, like when we go to the beach, when we sit down in the sand and the sand kind of forms around us, and it makes it really comfortable for us. It makes it comfortable for the cows as well. But the biggest reason that we use sand is because it's inorganic, which means it does not grow any bacteria in it. And we need to make sure that wherever the cows are laying is safe and clean for them. We do clean their pen 3 times a day. So every time that they go into the milking parlor to be milked, we come through and we clean. We rake their stalls, we clean out the manure, and we put that in our lagoon so that we can take that and spread it onto the field so that it can help our plants grow. I always like to ask kids, do you clean your rooms 3 times a day? But that's the care and dedication that we have for our cows, is making sure that they've got the best place to live.
That's great. We have just a couple more minutes. I don't know if you want to flip the camera back to you and I can ask you a few questions that have come up.
Sure.
So one question was, real quick, how do they make chocolate milk?
Well, my family is in the background. So when the milk gets to the processing plant, they will add the chocolate syrup or the peanut butter flavoring or salted caramel flavoring, and then they will package that into the gallons or containers just like they do the regular white milk.
How I see some people in the background. How much do the cows sleep? How many hours do they sleep usually?
That's a really good question. So cows actually take really short little like cat naps, I guess, or cow naps we could call them. But they rest for 14 hours a day. So like these girls right here that I was just showing you, they were kind of lounging around, and that's what they do. And they might take a little snooze here or there. And then the rest of the time they spend eating and socializing. Cows are really social animals. And I think you saw in the calf barn, there's someone scraping the pen right now behind me. But the calves, they're social animals, and that starts at an early age. And then the cows, they are just as social. They're just as curious as when they were little calves.
It sounds like you take a lot of great care of all of your cows, but how do you know when they're sick?
Oh, that's a really good question. So we would love it if the cows would just come to us and say, you know what, my tummy hurts, or I don't feel well. Just like we can go to our parents, but unfortunately they can't. So a couple things that help us to know when the cow isn't feeling well is we can just tell by looking at her. She might not be as perky as she was. Her ears might be drooping. She might be walking a little bit slower. She might be laying down more than usual. Or when she comes into the milking parlor, she might not give as much milk as she maybe did the day before. So you know, I mentioned earlier that my parents and my brother were born to be dairy farmers, and I think something it's just born. You're just born with it, that intuition of knowing what that cow needs before she, you know, before she even alerts us to it.
I just have one last question, and if you have anything else you want to share, but
Yeah.
how soon do calves walk?
Oh, that's a really good question. So calves walk within an hour or two after they're born. Yes, it's really fun to watch them try out their legs just like a toddler does, and really, you know, get their balance. But they walk within a few hours after birth.
Oh, that's great. Do you have anything else you want to add? And then we can wrap up.
Yeah, just a couple other things. One other person that that I need to mention on our farm team. I mentioned our milkman. I mentioned our nutritionist is our veterinarian. We have a herd, we have a group of veterinarians who help us take care of our herd of cows. And in fact, our veterinarian is here right now. He's working with my dad to do herd health, and so he is going over the cow records. He is taking note of what's going on with the animals, how many are laying down, what do they look like. So we've got a really good team of veterinarians over here that help us, and they are a very important part of that farm team.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really involved in the community. You know, just have to pull in a lot of people to help with the
Yeah,
operations and keep those cows producing the quality milk that they are. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
it's a team effort. You know, we also have other people who friends of our families who will come and help us when we need to plant corn, which is something that we're going to be starting to do. Hopefully in the next week it'll start to warm up. We're going to put those corn seeds in the ground. We had purchased those last fall. We'll put those in the ground, and those will start growing throughout the summer. So we've got people who come and help us do that. Or in the fall when we need to harvest that corn, we've got people who will come and drive trucks and help us to get that corn from the field to the farm for the cows. So, you know, we love what we do. We love that we've got a great community. We've got a great team. We've got great friends who all help us take care of cows. And then that leads to really nutritious and delicious milk and ice cream and cheese.
Thank you so much, Jolene, for showing us around your farm. I know it's cold out there, so we were wondering how many layers you actually have on.
Many layers, you know, and that's part of the job, is knowing how to dress for that cold, and then how to dress in the heat as well.
Well, I also want to thank Dan from Shiftology and helping us pull this all together. He's a great resource for us. And of course, our Michigan dairy farmers for providing these opportunities for us, sharing their farms. We have farms all across Michigan. And I just want to share too, if you want to see more about what happens on a farm, you can visit our website. Again, that's milkmeansmore.org if you haven't been there yet. And if you find our virtual farm tour page, you can share this video. The link will be up there, a YouTube link, and you can share it. If your students didn't get to watch it now, maybe they can watch it later. And there's a scavenger hunt there. So I think you answered all these questions. You mentioned that milk gets to the kids like within 48 hours. I think that's so important. And Also, a quick fact is to look for the Michigan code when you're looking at a milk bottle. You can look for the code 2626, and that means that milk is from Michigan. So that's a great fun fact to find when you're looking out there. So I think we're all set. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us, and you have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye, Jolene.